welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Okay, part 2 of Wonder Woman 1974 tonight. No, don't leave. Please don't leave.
He's kidding.
If anyone actually listened to that, let us know.
And if anybody came back after listening to that, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was, for me, I'd never seen it, so it was something different at least.
It was much better in my memory. That's all I can say.
Of course it was.
Those things usually are.
Is there ever anything... I bet there's some things that are better than you remember them. Possibly. Is that true?
No.
No, I haven't seen it in years and years and years, The Black Hole.
I watched it not that many years ago.
No, it doesn't get better.
No?
I watched it.
And I feel like we talked about this at some point, but my take on it was that I actually was really enjoying it, and then it just has this weird ending. Like,
Has
it's
a weird
not
ending,
a terrible
and
movie, and the weird ending just, boom.
The effects do not hold up, and, yeah.
The effects hold up better than Tron's effects hold up.
Oh, Tron's just...
Yeah, Tron's didn't hold
awful.
up until by the end of the movie,
Yeah,
but
I know.
But, yeah, you can't compare those two films.
For a future show, let's come up with something that is... I don't want to... As good, let's say as good, or better than you remember. That's I'm not saying it's easy. Just it's going to take some thought.
So, basically, it does hold up, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's I guess it holds.
So it's got to hold up to your...
Does anything hold? And I'm not talking Star Wars or Raiders or anything like that. I don't know what... Well, it'll take some thinking. That's another show. So think about that. But today we're going to talk about some D23. That was a little while ago, but not that long ago. But there's some news that came out of that. We got some segments and we got stuff like that. We'll get into all that. Let's do some random. Barry, what do you got?
According to Deadline, the guy that was the star of Squid Game, Lee Jung-jae, is going to be starring in Star Wars The Acolyte. So, you know,
Is that the guy who won the Emmy?
That was the main Squid Game guy. I don't know. Did he win an Emmy?
Someone from Squid Game won Best Actor. Beat out Jason Bateman and a couple other people. So
wow, I honestly didn't pay any attention to the Emmys at all. So
I didn't either, but I tuned in and I saw Jason Bateman, not looking that happy, and then then I saw what was going on. So.
I did finally listen to an episode of his podcast that you were telling us about. Mm-hmm. It's good. There's this thing now where, I mean, everybody has a podcast. I heard a podcast today it's a podcast I listen to all the time, Real Blend, Cinema Blends podcast, and they were interviewing Quentin Tarantino to talk about his podcast on their podcast.
Yeah, Jesus, we got to do more of that.
Quentin Tarantino's got a podcast now talking about movies.
We've been doing this way longer than Jason Bateman, and he sold his podcast to Apple, I want to say, for $60 million. We only got half of that, which is bullshit.
I know. We should have got way more.
Yeah, but
we can't even.
There are
so
on that
note, Dave, you keep telling us this. When are Barry and I going to see some money?
Well, I'm going to have you guys to my castle in Scotland, and we'll talk about it.
Todd, it's equity. The shares don't. Vest.
I heard something about back end, but I feel like I'm getting it in the back end. Okay,
we get ours in stock options.
You got your stock options in Dave America Incorporated. You both have stocks. Unfortunately, the company's going bankrupt. But
it's just some bad accounting.
Yeah. Will you tell Jeeves to put the gold Lexus next to the silver Lexus, please? Solid gold, obviously. Anyway, sorry.
Quite all right.
That was you said.
Whatever. I gave you a random. Somebody else go.
I wouldn't drive a Lexus, by the way. Sorry, I hate non-American or German or Italian luxury cars.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. For those few of you who really, really liked Constantine, they're now making a sequel, which I cannot understand.
I've never seen it. Has anyone ever seen it?
No, but Keanu Reeves is bankable, and he'll bring.
I think he's excited about it. That's why they're doing it.
Extremely poor representation of the character. It's. He doesn't look like Constantine. He doesn't act like Constantine. He doesn't dress like Constantine. They basically took the barest essences of the premise and attached him to someone who is completely different. And now, after 17 years, we're getting a sequel for which they canceled a planned Constantine series. So they could make.
I think it's something he wants to do, and they're like, okay.
Well, and it doesn't matter if he doesn't resemble the comic book character in any way, because most of the people watching it have never read the comic book.
No, but what I'm saying, there's actually a lot more people familiar with the character now than there were then, because Constantine's been in various TV series, and including a short-lived series of his own. He's a lot higher profile character than he was back in 2005.
If Keanu Reeves can get a Bill and Ted sequel, a third sequel made, then he can certainly get this made.
He's just a few notches below Tom Cruise.
He's bankable.
He can get shit done.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not the Tom Cruise fan that you are, but I wouldn't even say he's more than a couple notches below Tom Cruise, I think, as far as Hollywood star power goes.
Well, when you think of Hollywood stars who could get things made that they want to get made, there's not a ton of them.
I guess not.
Okay, for another show, let's each define a Hollywood star who gets shit done. No.
Yeah,
I don't. Assignments.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
You know who's awesome? Ewan McGregor.
I thought we were going.
No,
I thought it was about to go into the.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Ewan McGregor is awesome.
That was like a false handoff. That was just.
Yes, it was. Ewan McGregor's got a brother named Colin McGregor. That makes sense.
Well, the last names match. Yeah,
same last name. Colin McGregor for a long time was in the Royal Air Force, and his call sign was OB2. I like just that. Read that, and I'm surprised we haven't seen that everywhere.
I've been really pleased with all the press that he's been doing and all the comments he's making. He sounds like he's having so much fun in doing Star Wars again that just makes me happy, because right after those prequels, any of them, the three main prequel stars weren't totally complimentary to the franchise, to having been involved in it. I think that they were maybe too much time spent too close to it, but he definitely seems to be enjoying the resurgence now. If
it wasn't for Ewan McGregor, those things would have really sucked, I think. I don't think they sucked.
Do you get a sense that because these things have to exist around him, you can't do an Obi-Wan series without him? I'm not saying he had creative input, but
he did. He was an executive producer.
Whatever that means.
I'm saying they kind of had to, he kind of had to be content with what they were doing. It's very much not
watched that behind the scenes,
not a Mark Hamill kind of situation.
I mean, he was involved in developing the series from the beginning. Like, I think he had a lot of creative input.
Then that is why he feels the way he does about this and didn't about the prequels. So that's good. I mean, it's got to be great to take a character that you had that much invested in at one point in your life and be able to revisit it on your own terms.
I also think, and this stuff's been retread over and over again, but part of their not having a great time making the prequels was it was new the way they were doing it. It was they were acting and reacting to nothing all the time, and I don't think that actors work well that way, and they've said it. I mean,
and George Lucas is not.
I think you're just being very
director.
critical of the script. That's all I'm saying.
Well, script aside, like even if you had the best dialogue in the world, when you're acting against a giant room of green,
I thought you were talking
nothing
about
there.
I thought you were talking about the writing. Okay.
No, I was talking about the fact that they were in giant green screen rooms.
I got that. I was just teasing you because they're written for crap. But
I will say it a million times, and I'll say it a million more times. Those movies are actually aging better than I think any of us thought they would.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at the just run through the dialogue in the middle movie and
Middle
You
movie
can't
sucks.
change the dialogue, but
yeah, again, that's part of aging. It's just
the
like
people that grew up, that were kids when those movies came out, have a fondness for them the same way we did for the original. Some of us did for the originals. Not all of us are huge fans of the originals.
I actually like the originals. It's like the stuff that's very hack in those movies remains very hack. It doesn't get better.
And the
with age.
stuff that's great is still great. I think
I
some of the
absolutely agree.
greatest Star Wars is in some of those movies.
Yep.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
Some of the
No,
best Star Wars
I'm
is
the
in those
first to agree
movies.
with you. The best. I was actually talking to my kids at school about that the other day. The hands down the best lightsaber battle is in Phantom Menace. So.
You want to hear something crazy that I got, and this is just going to make Todd angry. I got from listening to this Quentin Tarantino interview. What do you think his favorite Indiana Jones movie is?
Ugh, don't say Crystal
God.
Skull.
It's not Crystal Skull, but it's Temple of Doom. And
Some
he goes
people,
on,
that is some people's
and he
favorite.
goes on to
I can-
say
I can
that he
respect that.
doesn't like the one with Sean Connery at all.
I find
was-
that hard to believe.
A little taken back by that.
There
and
are
then he went on to
people-
say he doesn't think Crystal Skull's that bad. But
There are people that's their favorite. Other than the chicken skewer scene, I don't get it.
No, I actually
The nuances of that chicken skewer
I think
performance.
I think that improves over time. I think that movie does improve over time. I think it's if you look at these movies in the vein that they originally were created, which they're supposed to be these kind of like cliffhanger, over the top sort of, it was a thing. It works in those two films in a way that it definitely does not in the fourth film. The third film's a departure very much from that. They have a lot more going on, but the second one kind of follows that same formula where they just go from one kind of mishap to another, to another, to another. It's a little more tiring in the second one, and it's a little broader, but it fits the theme. It really does. And again,
I think that movie needs just a little tweaking. It could be better.
exactly. But I do think I don't think it's. I mean, it's worlds better than the fourth film.
right, but if you take the fourth film out of it, it's your least favorite of the three, right?
Oh yeah, because it's not as good a film as the other two, but it's not like it's not crap. I mean, it's not.
No, but I've always, and I like that movie, but I've always thought of it as, Raiders is the best one, and then Temple of Doom is kind of the least good one. I don't want to say worse because it's not bad, but
so okay, the best two films, the original trilogy, are what?
Raiders
Star
and
Wars
Last
and
Crusade.
Empire.
What's that? No, I'm saying the original trilogy, Star Wars trilogy. You say the original
Star Wars and
trilogy.
Empire.
Oh,
Exactly. That doesn't make Return of the
Jedi.
Jedi a bad film.
No, I know.
It's just
No,
not
Ewoks
on
make it
not as good.
I
Not
have a
as
problem with the Ewoks.
I don't either. I'm just being controversial.
All right, what else you got?
for no reason.
We're dragging things out that don't need to be dragged out.
okay.
Barry?
Wait a minute. Just to be clear on this, isn't that the premise of the show?
Not if we're trying to stop by 10 o'clock.
No, I know. I'm talking about for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, real quick, and this is more casting news. This didn't come out of D23, so I can talk about it now. Hollywood Reporter is saying that a guy named Iman Esfandi is going to be playing Ezra Bridger in Ahsoka. So for Dave, that means
No idea
nothing.
who
For
that
Todd and
Wait.
I,
Didn't it say... I read that, and I thought it said the voice of...
no.
No,
He's an
'cause
actual
gonna
actor.
be a live action character.
Yeah, he's a,
I know.
they're taking another
Somewhere I
animated
read the voice,
character.
and it was weird. I'm like, this is a live-action series. They may have made a mistake.
Yeah, I think they did, because the article in the Hollywood Reporter actually showed his face and said he was cast.
I didn't
to
see
be in
that
it.
today. I read the Hollywood Reporter every day. I did not see that.
It was reported last week.
Oh.
We didn't do random last week, so
Todd?
it's exciting.
There's a-
I mean, I'm looking forward
sorry.
to seeing more Star Wars Rebels characters in Ahsoka.
Yeah, and live action, I'm excited about that prospect. there is a clip out from Batgirl. There's an action sequence that's on a couple different websites.
It's not a fan trailer. I read there's a fan trailer.
There's a fan
there.
trailer too. No, but there's actually a filmed action sequence where she comes through a skylight, grabs onto a gigantic Christmas tree that then bends over, and she kind of rides that to the ground. And
Like in the reverse of Elf?
it, again, is very elf-like. But I hope that's not all we ever see of the movie, but it is clear
We're not
that
gonna see
something,
much.
something
Is it a
exists.
scene from the movie, or is it something somebody shot during filming, like as B-roll or something? Or
No, I think it's actually a scene from the movie. It's just not in finished form, but it's a full stunt thing with lighting and everything. It's
I wonder what happened. So, and I don't know if either of you read this, but the new Grand Theft Auto game that is not even ready to be out yet. Like the source code got stolen and got released on the internet. So that's I thought of that when you mentioned this, Todd. I'm just wondering what happens to Warner Brothers' ability to write this movie off and get the tax credit if somebody other than them somehow gets it.
Well, they're going to have a loss. There's the cease and desist. I think they could prove that
again,
they're not.
exactly,
they didn't put it out for
but any
profit.
bits
is
and
what the issue
pieces of
is.
this are going to creep out because you got to think there had to be chunks of this that were in a whole bunch of different people's hands, and FX houses and stunt trainers and all this. There had to be a bunch of people that had access to this film for one reason or another, or pieces of this film for one reason or another. The whole film is probably never going to see the light of day, but I would bet we're going to see at least a few more bits and pieces like this. Because I think
there's a feeling, though, that when you're at that point of pre-production, or post-production, rather, I have a feeling that like the footage itself is in the hands of the editors and probably not anybody else. Once they're at that stage.
I would think effects houses and stuff.
From the
effects houses would have clips. You're right.
Okay,
You're right.
It's like this is digital. It's not like somebody came by and collected film rolls. So it's and everything digital is backed up in multiple places. I bet there's more stuff out there, and it'd be interesting to see what we see.
It's funny. This movie, if it did come out, probably would have sucked, and everyone would have hated it. And now people are clamoring for even 10 seconds of it.
Well, it's. I think we live in a post-Snyder Cut world, where, we spend so much time talking about useless shit in the internet that the speculative film is always better in our head than the actual thing.
No, for sure.
And so the internet kind of willed the Snyder Cut into existence, and though it's pretty much usually universally acknowledged that no one will ever do that again, it's still that undertone is out there, and there's people that think they're going to make that happen.
Probably. So they announced Amazon is going to have a Blade Runner live-action TV series that takes 50 years after the 2049 movie. That's interesting.
Is it?
It's interesting in that...
Interesting to me.
It's interesting in that it could suck.
But it's also an interesting jump in time. Okay? They're not going forward another few decades or, whatever. What was it? How far did they go from the
50?
30.
Oh, the first one was 30. This is
2019.
Yeah. So they jumped 30. Now they're jumping 50. And so, we're going to see different societal changes. It could be,
I say leave
totally
it alone.
different views. Because
Blade Runner without Harrison Ford, though. And I'm not saying I want him to be in it at 75, 80 years old, whatever he would be when this thing finally comes out. But
so you're done with Star Wars, Barry?
Star Wars didn't hinge on Han Solo. There's a lot else in that universe.
You might have said it did 30 years ago. I mean, it's
I love that character of Han Solo, but he's not the only main character in Star Wars.
They're clearing the board. All the legacy characters are gone. We still love Star Wars, right? So
some of us, yeah.
It's Barry.
I'd like to see Kay in this thing.
Barry's in a pick a fight mode tonight. Okay,
I'm tired. Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, Barry, let's just make this clear. I do love Star Wars. I do not love it unconditionally.
See, that's what separates us, Todd.
I know that. I understand. I do not love
I
it
watched
unconditionally.
Resistance, Todd.
Yeah. It's just like, it is one of the things I love, but it's not the,
I know.
It's not my reason for being. And
I don't think of Blade Runner as an expansive universe that is untapped for storytelling. And I could be wrong, and it's maybe because I like the movie. I don't love it the way you guys do and other people do.
Are you watching Lord of the Rings? You're not yet, right? You're not.
No,
watching
but that's something that I've been invested in since I was 12 years old.
Again,
I've read those books.
I have always liked
Yeah.
Blade Runner. I've always thought there were more places to go in that universe, and we'll be interested to see what they do with it. I think there's an interesting trajectory with the replicants in 2049. It's different than it is in the original film, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I mean, are they more or less equals in the future? Are they? It'd be interesting to see. So I'm up.
Did that animated thing ever come out? I remember we talked about it. I wouldn't even know where
was
it
that
is.
supposed to be on?
Couldn't tell you.
I seem to remember people talking about it. I could be wrong.
We talked about it. I know.
We need to
I
find
mean like
out
seeing
because
people talk about it like after it came out.
I will find out where it is and let's because I would check that out.
Be interested because I don't remember hearing anything about it. I mean, we would hear it from amongst ourselves.
And it didn't. I think it just. I think it was like a whimper and not so much a bang or a thud.
But how amazing must it be to be Jeff Bezos that whatever he wanted The Expanse to continue, so he bought it. He wanted a Lord of the Rings show.
You
So
think
he
he
made
wants? He's the one who wanted this Blade Runner thing.
I don't know. It just seems like anything that the sci-fi things that are popping up on Amazon are.
I would do the same thing, wouldn't you?
I sure. Why not?
I have a theory
totally
about
do
this,
that.
Barry. I think there's like an algorithm running somewhere in the Amazon machine that says people search for this and people search for this, and by virtue of that, we could make a Lord of the Rings series, and we still sell X number.
I think there are people making it, and they just find someone to pay for it. That's what Amazon. I don't use Amazon.
So, by the way, all 13 episodes of that animated series have been released.
On what?
Who the hell released it?
Part of me wants it to be Hulu, so because I don't have it.
It says Warner Brothers Television, so I bet it was HBO Max. Oh, Adult Swim.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Oh, okay.
It was called Black Lotus, and it started
Right.
coming out in 2021, November of 2021, and it ran into February of 22.
Okay, we'll get right on that.
I knew I remembered it.
I will
Seeing
report
people
back to you
say
next
they
week
liked
what
it
it
or
was
didn't
like
like it.
because I'll watch the whole series.
Any other random?
Nothing of
not for me.
consequence. Let's go.
You know what I have? I have Fanboy Collectibles. That's who I have. Okay, Exo 6 Locutus. I haven't ordered that, but I probably have to.
Oh, it looks amazing, though, doesn't
I
it?
probably have to. There are 2 Obi-Wan Pops from the series, and a very old school, like, Metal Gods Rob Halford from
I was
Judas
just looking
Priest.
at that with the microphone in
Very-
one hand and the whip in the other.
And the whip, I've seen him in the very early 80s.
That is the
in that,
hellbent for leather Rob Halford
yes,
right there.
exactly. That's the classic, where every 15, 16-year-old dude's like, oh my God, he's the coolest. Not really knowing he's dressed up like one of the village people, and
In a full-on bondage costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not that there's anything wrong with that. That's fine.
No, hey,
but Rob
we were
is the
innocent,
man.
We were innocent little metalheads, Dave.
Rob, you can't do any wrong. He's the man.
Still out there performing.
There's also pre-order for a cool-looking Moon Knight statue.
I saw that.
I
had
assumed
on
that
my
was
list.
a must-buy for you. When
Absolutely,
I saw that.
very inexpensive and kind of cool-looking. So, could be my office Moon Knight statue.
Good
There you
stuff.
go. So they got everything. Not to mention they're going to be at New York Comic Con, which is in the beginning of October at some point. So check them out there. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Check them out online, fanboycollectibles.com, and tell them the Regular Joe sent you. Okay, let's do some Workbench.
Well, if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Regular Joe's What's on My Workbench?
Barry and I both have some Workbench things. I'm going to do a quick one first, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
So one of my things is, for me, something I have on me all the time is my phone. You know, more so than anything else. I don't really carry my wallet around, but in the house even I have my phone. And I have these thin optics little glasses that I stick on the back. These are invaluable because I don't like carrying real reading glasses, and unfortunately I'm old and I need reading glasses. So I was saying to myself, Mr. Pisani, that's what I call myself. You know what would be nice to have all the time would be some kind of cutting implement. You're opening freaking Amazon boxes and Fanboy Collectibles boxes, but how do I incorporate that into my phone? Now, if I didn't have this, I would probably get one of those Swiss cards and stick it on here.
That's what I carry around. Yep.
So what I did was I fashioned. This is the prototype made out of brass. I put a X-Acto knife blade onto a piece of brass. It's actually like epoxied on there and then smoothed down, and it's got a little finger thing to grab it, and it fits into the case of the thing. The fact that nobody makes, and I've looked at it, a cell phone case that has a little knife in it is shocking to me. No one has it. I would think that'd be something, not even to kill someone, but just as a cutting tool.
There's a huge market for that in prisons, Dave.
Yeah, I think there is. I think there is. So I was actually thinking about your glasses the other day because I was thinking like, I hate carrying around the second pair of glasses like that. And I might actually try doing the little Mr. Roosevelt glasses like you have. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking, where do you put these things? And now, this isn't necessarily the thing for me, okay? But if you had a holder for that went on the back of your tie, think about it.
No one wears ties anymore.
Some people still wear ties, but I'm thinking about it. Just think how easy that
there
would be.
is a little thing
pocket that just fits the back of your tie. Wouldn't that be the perfect place for those things?
I guess, but no one wears ties. There is a little compartment that is almost like a little keychain thing, and it takes them. They're very flexible. So it takes them, and it actually folds them up like this.
Geez, look at that.
And they slide into this little keychainy thing. I have that too, but I don't use it. I like the one on the back of the phone. But, yeah. But you don't carry reading. These are only reading glasses.
I actually have reading glasses in a case in my backpack. Mm-hmm. Mostly for serial numbers and things like that.
Yeah, but I wear. So anyway, I've laser cut the plastic, and I have a bunch of these little ones. So this is like about a 10-cent little item. That's, if I didn't have this phone thing, I'd have it in a little holder on here, I think, and it's very handy all the time. It's right there, a little knife. It's on a little plastic.
Now when you put that phone in your pocket, any concerns or fears of that coming out and stabbing you?
Nope. This is all stuck. It's never. This is the prototype, which I don't use anymore, and it's heavy. It's never come out. In the past, I've been carrying this around for about 3 months. It's never popped out.
Now, could you make it in such a way that you could like flip the phone and have it like come up like a blade? Because that would be
switchblade.
That's what I'm working on. Okay. I'd like a cell phone knife case, cell phone case knife. Anyway,
that would be cool when Steven Spielberg does West Side Story again, like modern version. It could be like switchblade phones.
I think so.
Exactly. I also have just filed the tip off of this because if you work with X-Acto knives, those tips are super sharp.
Yeah.
You don't really need them for the things you're cutting boxes open and stuff, so you could really hurt yourself.
I use an N7 tool card, and that fits. I have a little. It's kind of a money clip. It's a little frame that your credit cards go into. I haven't used a wallet in years, and that fits in there perfect. And because it's metal. I've been through metal detectors dozens of times with it. No one's ever questioned it. And there's a screwdriver. There's a cutting edge, and I love that thing.
Cool. Okay, Barry.
All right.
What are you working on? So I have another thing, but we'll see if we have time.
I'm working on. I mentioned this, I think, already, but Mobius Models makes a 1/6 scale model kit of the Lost in Space B9 robot.
Yes, they do.
I made one about a year and a half ago, maybe, for you, Todd.
Yep.
I don't know. It feels like it was about a year and a half ago. Dave had asked if I would. I don't know. Maybe I even offered to build Dave's for him. I know Dave was kind of hesitant.
I bought it. I started it. I'm like, I can't do this. I could build things from scratch, but building models, I just can't do it. I just don't have it in me.
And Dave had actually gone on and taken it a step further and bought the light and sound kits for it, which are aftermarket kits. So I said to Dave, give it to me. I'll take it home at some point. I'll work on it. And when I did Todd's, that was meant to be sort of I'll build one and then I'll know what to do, what not to do. The problem is I waited a year and a half in between, so I've kind of forgotten all of the what not to do, so I'm learning. But I am building two of them. I'm building one for myself and one for Dave. And I've also never built two of model kits at the same time before. So it's been an interesting learning experience, and I'm a little further along on some pieces of mine than I are on Dave's. This is sort of the leg assembly on mine. I did assemble this is a sample thing that goes in there. The problem with it is it doesn't really stay closed very well with it in. And I think you had said you didn't care if I put it in on yours or not. I'm going to see if I can figure out a way that it will stay closed. And if I can, then I'll put it in on yours. Otherwise, I might not.
Does that open on mine?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I don't need it to. I would feel bad if I'd never noticed it.
No, yours was glued shut.
Did you paint the rubber?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, there are videos on how to do that, and there's a whole...
You know, what's interesting, and you'll probably never notice it because the colors are so similar, what is actually showing of these wheels, I did in silver. The rest of it's flat aluminum. But
it's really super annoying.
Yeah, they're very, very similar.
Yeah, this is...
So then... Oh, go ahead, Todd.
I was just going to say, the job you did on mine was just absolutely amazing. And I can only imagine, as your skills progress, what these are going to look like. But it's a great, great piece.
What's interesting is, there are subtle differences that you need to changes you need to make in order to accommodate the lights and the sound. So, as an example, there's this piece that goes inside the bottom of the torso. And there's a door. Once this is installed, there's like a door that can open and close on it. On Dave's, there's meant to be a 3mm LED that goes in that spot.
Oh, God.
So, but in the regular model, there's actually a protruded, fake light bulb.
Jeez, I didn't realize that.
So you've got to cut that off and then drill a hole for a 3mm LED in that spot.
Yeah, I'm out.
Which I did that yesterday. I sent you both pictures of this. In the chest piece, this is a piece, and this is riveting for people who can't see it, but the chest piece on the model without the lights is solid. The instructions for the chest piece with the lights is you've got to actually cut a huge piece out of this piece of plastic and make it it's got to come on certain angles, and it's got to be just right so that the light, when it talks, will flash in sync with the dialogue. So, and then the other piece, which is, it looks very simple once it's done, but masking this chest plate so that the different recesses are different colors of silver and metallic gold, chrome has been interesting.
What an amazing design this thing is. I mean,
this robot's amazing. I mean, it's
two of the most iconic robots of the 50s and 60s for the same guy to have designed. Robert Kinoshita, and I mean, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
The other modification that I didn't realize I was going to have to make until yesterday when I was reading the instructions. So mine isn't going to have the light kit. So there's this piece of clear plastic that you put inside the chest to simulate the lights, and you have to paint them from the back certain colors to match what the lights look like.
Oh, that's tedious too.
Yeah, but on Dave's, there are two different shapes lights. There's round lights, and those are actually LEDs that are in the light kit. But the square lights are not. So you actually have to cut that piece in half, discard the ones with the round lights because you're not going to use them, and only use this.
I didn't realize that was the case.
If you remember, I texted you a picture a week or so ago, Dave. I bought a hobby saw.
Yeah.
So I used that last night. Perfect. It was perfect tool for this job.
Oh, good.
So I'm having fun. I mean, as tedious as this thing is, it's fun. There's the added level of pressure on this one because I'm doing it for a friend. I want it to be good. And then there's the electronics.
Yeah,
which that's not necessarily my area. Now, these, thankfully, are pretty much plug and play, except for the head. I don't know if you realize this if you read the instructions on the light kit. The head has these 8 stalks that in my version won't light up, so they're clear plastic stalks that you paint. On yours, you discard the clear plastic stalks, and you have to use shrink tubing around these tiny little LED wires to create those stalks.
Really?
Did leaving they give the LED protruding out of the very end of it. That's the part that I'm completely intimidated by, but we'll get there.
Wow.
Jesus, sorry. You know what I'm going to do?
Don't be sorry. I'm enjoying it. If I wasn't enjoying it, I would be, Dave, I can't do it. I'll get it done. I'm
going to send you $1 million of the money that you should have gotten from me from our show.
You're a big sport.
Anyway.
That's right.
I appreciate that. But this is a work in progress. When we're done, all 3 of us will have a B9 1/6 scale robot. This is why we started
That's the day they come out with one from that company who made Robbie.
Oh yeah. That'll be the day that I might jump off the roof.
I know I said this just recently, but I do love that if you look at the scale, these two are perfectly in scale with each other.
Yeah, no, that's what we've been talking about that for 10 years.
Yeah,
we all have this X something. What's it called?
X Plus.
Yeah.
X Plus Robbie the Robot in 1/6 scale, and we've never been able to get a B9 robot, Lost in Space robot, and it's only in a model kit. So that's where this has all come from.
The only thing that I wish was different when Todd bought his kit. I think when I bought my kit and when you bought your kit, Dave, they had the glass dome.
But then they were sold out.
I used the glass dome when I built Todd's because I wanted his to be better. Thinking, if I ever want to build it again, I'll just buy another dome. You can't get them anymore. So I'm going to use the plastic dome on mine. I'm going to have to figure out how to eliminate that seam. But
nobody else makes that.
Nobody else makes it, and it is sold out everywhere. And
we should make those.
If you can find it on eBay, it's like hundreds of dollars now for that little piece of glass. But all good. I'm glad that you got it and that Dave's got it, and I'll make mine look fine. I'll figure out a way to. I've between Dave's extra, the extra from when I built yours, Todd, and my extra, I've got plenty of them to screw up if I, So
you should go to a glass.
Yeah, I remember mine was missing a part, right?
What one?
And you had
yours was missing one of the pieces of the claws, and I ended up buying a second kit just to get it, and then because I emailed the company. And they never responded to me. And like months later, they responded to me and sent me. So I actually have one extra claw now. But I did all 4 hands the other day, so I've got the claws ready to go. The shiny red. I think before I get too far on yours, I'm gonna take mine. I have this special clear coat that I bought that's actually made for car rims. That I want to try clear coating mine and see if it looks okay, because the I don't know what they call it, but basically the legs, the parts that are like the gray material that's supposed to be like the rubber.
Yeah.
It's a shiny plastic that needs to be painted. So I painted. I painted it when I did Todd's too. It doesn't take paint well, so I want to see if I can seal it with a clear coat and have it not flake off. So that'll be next weekend. But anyway, enough on that. I'll post some pictures maybe of work in progress, just of the things I mentioned, so people, if they're interested, can see what I'm talking about.
Cool. That's what's on Workbench. I'll do mine another time. I have something else, but we want to get moving. So let's talk some D23. I mean, there was a lot of stuff, but I think there's a couple things that stand out to us. Right? I would imagine Indiana Jones is one of them.
Do you imagine what is?
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I mean,
and Willow, of course, but Indiana Jones first.
Let's talk Indiana Jones first. Let's go from least important to most important. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So did you guys all watch the clip of Harrison Ford on stage?
Yes.
Did you see it, Dave?
I don't think I saw that, actually.
He's either older than we think he is, or he was getting choked up and emotional. I'm going to go with choked up and emotional because his voice sounded wobbly and like he was getting choked up. But he said this movie's going to kick our ass, is what he said.
Yeah.
He said.
There was a lot of good... I read an article in something, and there's some... there were pictures of the costumes, which is no big deal. And there were some drawings, some, pre-production art. They're
showed a
saying
trailer.
it takes place in the 60s, which I know we had theorized it could take place in the 70s. And I'm glad it doesn't. I still feel like, and it said during the space race, so, and there was something on, like, Welcome Home Astronauts. If it takes place in the early 60s, I feel like that is more, like the 50s were the last one. The 50s were just, there was too much going on with the bikers and the Happy Days and all that crap. I feel like that's early 60s is a nice sort of safe time period that doesn't have, you don't get into the late 60s with the war and hippies and all that stuff. And then the 70s, which is just a disaster, as we all know, because of leisure suits and whatever.
Disco.
So the first half of the 60s, to me, feels like a safe time period. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, I have not read any articles that detailed what was in the trailer. They did show the people in attendance a trailer, and
Do you find it interesting that it just has not leaked? I mean, you look at the video of him on stage, and there's a bazillion people holding up cell phones.
I wonder what the deal with that is.
I just find it really bizarre. I've looked
I found
everywhere
it
for
interesting.
that.
Like the Mandalorian trailer. I mean, obviously now it's released, and it was released at around the time of D23. But that
our
trailer was shown.
Our Mandalorian trailer was out, within, and bad copies of it were
Yeah,
out.
no, and this one kind of was too. But every time it would pop up, it got taken down.
Maybe they're just really good about it.
Maybe
I mean,
they're getting better at.
they
I know
could encode these things with something. Maybe, who knows?
I know there's technology now that in these screening events they can tell if people are using cell phones, and they can grab them. So.
But anyway, I'm happy with the time period. The art looks very reminiscent of Raiders, which is nice.
And they're just calling it Indiana Jones.
Are they going with that Rocky Balboa thing?
But I felt like those movies always needed a subtitle to me. But
I would agree with that.
I don't know. I just, he seems like... I read between the lines of what he was saying in that little brief thing he said on stage, and it felt like he was saying, I know you didn't like the last one. Trust me, this one's really good. Is what it felt like he was saying.
He did say this one's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like yeah.
Like maybe I'm again reading between the lines, but it felt like he was saying that almost as like, no, trust me, you're gonna like this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. The other one sucked really bad, but this one's better.
And then there were pictures of Short Round, who's not in it. It doesn't, unless it's like a total cameo surprise. But he was at D23 because he's in the second season of Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great to see the two of them. That shot that went all over
Yeah,
the
that
internet
shot
of
was
hugging.
awesome. You saw that everywhere.
Yeah.
That was awesome. It'd be cool if he actually had a little cameo.
It would be very cool, even if it's just like,
Well, they did say John Rhys Davies is in it as Sala.
He's in all of them, isn't he? No, not the second
No,
one.
he doesn't show up in all four of the.
He certainly shows up when he signs your poster.
He
in a
very
big
much
way.
does. Yes.
yes. I wonder whether something to it being called Indiana Jones, whether the name has significance.
I don't know what you're going with that.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, this.
Are you saying
other,
they kill him in the movie?
No, I'm saying this other character is an integral part of the thing. I wonder whether she's like using his name or something. You see what I'm saying? So I'm wondering whether the Indiana Jones thing is actually the thing.
They franchises it out.
No, like she's also supposed to be slightly sketchy. I'm saying whether or not she's like,
Using his name
using
without
his
knowledge,
name and selling artifacts or doing something like that. That's
or representing that she works for him somehow.
and that's got to get him out of he's so it's got like I said, something to do with his name and his reputation.
So he was born in what, 1900?
Yes,
So he's got to be between 60 and 65. We're thinking.
it's not the years, it's the mileage,
Yeah.
and it was some rough mileage.
Well, maybe he spent some time on Tatooine because we know that ages you faster than normal.
And you don't get blown up in a fridge and walk away unscathed. So
That didn't happen. That was in a dream. Patrick Duffy's going to walk out and be like, Indy, what are you doing
It's
here?
right in a towel. What are you, Indy? What are you doing in the fridge?
All right, so I have to ask: did either of you watch the Willow trailer?
I did.
Okay, I thought you might, and I knew Dave wouldn't.
I didn't. Was there actually a trailer?
No, they released a full 2-minute trailer. Yeah,
it does look good.
It does.
It does, and I think it's going to be. I'm concerned that, like I said, the kind of fantasy thing is getting hit hard right now.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's
When's that coming out?
It comes out at the end of the year. I think December.
This year.
Yes.
that is.
I got to get a list of the countries that don't have Disney Plus so I could spend some time there at the end of the year.
So when you think about, so HBO's got one, Amazon's got one, Disney Plus has got one.
Both of theirs will be over probably though by the time.
No. But when I'm saying within a 6-month period,
right?
So what's Paramount's
National Treasure? No, that's Disney.
That's Disney also.
Yeah.
Paramount. The closest thing Paramount has is probably Evil.
No, they got to stick their toe in somewhere. This is everyone wants the next Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but Willow's not going to try to do that. R-rated version. I mean, it's going to be more kid-friendly.
Barry, this is potential to be bigger than this. Well, I'm saying this. I think I don't know how much they're going to hype the movie. I don't know how much they're going to replay the movie. What they're going to do, reference it in what way.
They should not replay the movie.
This is potential to have its own audience, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I bet that they're going to do it in a way that in the first episode they give you the 2-minute recap of the movie that you're not going to have seen the movie probably to enjoy the series. Is my guess.
It'd be interesting to see.
He could be telling his grandkids the tale of the time that he went on an adventure. That could be a 30-second scene. He could cover it because obviously Mad Mardigan's not coming back. Certainly not in the way that he did in Top Gun.
Visits him in his
Val
house,
Kilmer's not going to be in it.
And he uses
that's why they had him killed in Top Gun, so he didn't have to be in this.
To recap the story
exactly,
and then they have his funeral. So
but Joanne Wally's in it, and
that's
she
how it happens.
Yeah. So there's continuity back to the original for the people that care, but I bet it doesn't require knowledge of the movie to be enjoyable. So Dave, maybe you will like it because we know how much you love those sword and sorcery movies.
That's right. That's Dave's thing.
I'm watching that dragon thing. I mean, it's
you just keep waiting for boobs and you haven't gotten any yet.
Have I not? There were some in the episode.
There were some.
There were definitely some.
All right, moving on to some of the other stuff that was talked about. So there was, as we mentioned, finally the Mandalorian season 3 trailer dropped. Looks great. Looks exciting.
Yeah, that's a gimme.
Yeah, I expect high things from that.
Best shot in the trailer. What is it? I think that drop scene is awesome.
I think the drop scene is probably one of the best.
Oh my god! It's so perfect because it's just just the
I just love the mythology parts too,
Yep.
where Bo-Katan is telling Grogu, "You thought your dad was the only Mandalorian." Like all that kind of stuff is awesome.
Yeah,
and just when you look at the Mandalorian city and the throne room and the domed city and all that in Clone Wars, and now you're seeing it recreated in live action, and it's perfect. It's just
it does. It does look awesome, and and we don't know what we're going to see. I mean, it may be totally Mandalore centric, but
well, and there's a shot of R5 in the droid socket.
Isn't that great?
His ship, which was awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
That was cool.
He goes from hating droids to and not to go off on a too much of a tangent. I did see Clerks 3 last week. I won't really go into it, but Amy Sedaris is in it in a cameo, and all I was thinking was Pelimoto the whole time because she's got the same hair and same voice. Like she doesn't disguise her voice in any way, so it was pretty funny that she's just so obviously. And they're and during the scene, she plays a doctor. During the scene, they're talking about the Mandalorian, which was kind of funny. But
that's great.
All right, then there was the Tales of the Jedi trailer, which is animated, and it's shorts, right? I think it's like 6 or 8 shorts.
Yeah.
I think this looks really cool.
I was not expecting much out of it, and I was blown away.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it now.
I like that they're doing shorts, and I like that they're focusing on elements of the characters that we know
They're going to jump all over the
that
place.
we don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And
So, by the way, if anybody's wondering why, it's Friday and we're not talking about Andor, we're recording on Monday night. Andor hasn't come out yet. But the scene that they released from Andor looks, I'm so psyched for this.
yeah,
They're getting a ton. I feel like that show's getting more press than anything. There's a billboard near me. I mean, you don't ever see billboards of that stuff.
So,
and there's a
during
ton of commercials.
primetime programming on ABC in New York, they're running things across the bottom of the screen about Andor.
Yeah.
yeah. I gotta hope
I'm
it lives up
super
to the
psyched.
hype. So, question: so Cassian Andor or Wings era Paul McCartney?
Looks more like he looks like Serpico.
It's the
He's
exact
got
same
a little
hair and
Serpico
beard.
going there too.
That's even the same exact look from Serpico.
Yeah, yeah. But
I'm jumping all over the place. So Thunderbolts. I think we finally know what the Thunderbolts is.
Yeah,
Which I had no clue.
me either.
it is Marvel's Suicide Squad. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of a mixed batch. They're not all criminals. The traditional Thunderbolts tends to be like one guy, often Hawkeye, or somebody like that, leading a group of basically villains who are on short leashes.
Work release programs.
But it'd be interesting to see. I mean,
The fact that Winter Soldier's in it, I'm surprised.
I was very surprised to see Bucky in there.
Yeah.
Everybody else makes sense to me. Bucky's an odd choice and surprising. So
That's what I was definitely surprised about that. Even the what's his face? David Harbour.
yeah,
I was a little, and not that I didn't. You didn't, and Yelena's in it too, right?
yeah.
She's in it. She wasn't at the thing, I don't think. And that stupid freaking fake Captain America. I could have been done with that guy.
It'll be interesting to see if they can actually pull, because I wrote down what Kevin Feige said during the panel. He said, "Let it be known the Avengers are no more, thus leaving a vacuum in Marvel's newest team, the Thunderbolts, that they can fill." He then said, "There isn't an organization like the Avengers anymore, but we now have the Thunderbolts. Iron Man and Black Widow both died defeating Thanos. Captain America aged and retired. Thor left Earth and is now a father. Hawkeye seems content to leave the superhero life behind and spend time with his family. And Hulk remains active and is currently off-world." So he literally said, there's no more Avengers. This is your team now. So
There's no more Avengers until they come out with 2 Avengers movies.
Right. Oh yeah, but they're filling that void, and
But he's basically trying to say, the Avengers from the first 15, 18, 25 movies, whatever it was, don't expect them to come back.
Well, I don't think we did, since
no, we didn't.
many are dead.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's nailing the coffin shut.
No, he's talking about the current gap and how this is and why this group exists to fill that gap, and it makes perfect sense. I mean, there'll be another Avengers, but it'll be, and we may even see a few of these people in the Avengers. I will say, looking at this, I've already figured out who's probably gonna die in the course of this mission. It's like, okay, didn't expect to see her
Captain
again.
America guy.
Didn't expect to see her again, and he's a write-off. So, yeah.
Did you watch the Secret Invasion trailer?
I did. Yeah.
That looks
I
really
did.
good.
I think
It's
looks
all
really
a
good
blur.
also.
No, that does look good. That's going to be good.
Yeah.
So what else? Werewolf by Night comes out of nowhere.
Do we know what that even is?
It is a
Halloween
5th tier
special?
title, right? I mean, it was one of those 70s sort of. It's almost of those Shang-Chi books that no one bought. To me, that's how I see
let's
it.
just put it this way: the single most valuable issue of Werewolf by Night is the first appearance of Moon Knight. So the issue,
That's telling you something.
No, but I'm saying the book itself is not valuable for what it is. I mean, issue 28 and 29 were where Moon Knight first appeared, and those are worth far more than the first issue.
And they did say Moon Knight will not be in this movie.
Thing.
But it's just the dude is a werewolf, right?
The guy is a werewolf, and he's got this kind of hereditary curse. Not the least of which is the guy's name is Jack Russell, which I didn't get as a kid, but it's seriously the guy's named after a dog.
The style of it just intrigued me. I mean, the style of that trailer
I want to see this. I think this.
You think it's going to be all black and white like that? I mean, that was the trailer,
I don't know
so
whether
obviously
the trailer's black and white or whatever. But this is not an unusual. This is actually the Moon Knight storyline. They're basically there's this group stalking him, and they hire, they hire different, mercenaries to go after him, and that's where Moon Knight was created, was to be an antagonist for him there. And so this seems to be that storyline expanded out, but without Moon Knight, because they've definitively said Moon Knight's not going to appear in this.
Yeah, it was a very obscure title. I know of it. I've heard of it. I'm sure I've seen it in the spinner rack at 7-Eleven, and it's something you just never bought.
It was,
as soon
but
as I saw the trailer, I said, "This is right up Todd's alley."
I never read some of these, and mostly read crossovers, I think. But it was this 70s kind of angsty things where he spent a lot of time talking about how bad his life was, and then he turned into a werewolf, and then spent a lot of time trying to fix the consequences of that. And,
it's almost like the Morbius thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's from that same era and that same kind of thing. He was the werewolf. He was the werewolf to Morbius's.
Was
vampire.
he ever in Spider-Man? I don't remember.
I don't think so. But a lot of other titles, peripheral things, and I think there was an effort to make it a standalone thing, but there was some crossover.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you haven't seen the trailer, check it out, because the trailer is pretty. I mean, it's pretty wild and very stylized and kind of cool. Even if the show ends up
again,
is it a show or a movie?
It's a movie. It's it's a Halloween special.
Okay.
It's basically
very
what
much
it
is, and it's totally.
And it's out in a
field,
few weeks.
I think it's intriguing. Yeah, it's like October 7th or something.
All right, so we got official confirmation and a date for Fantastic Four, right? November 2024. So I don't think we
no
had
other
that.
information whatsoever.
Other than Matt Shankman's directing it, but
there's rumors of Killing Eve girl Jodie Comer, is that her name?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Maybe being Sue Storm.
I could see that.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, no official casting information, no anything other than, hey, this movie's coming, but now we're giving you a date.
Yeah.
They can't screw that up.
Oh boy, they can. They totally.
Everybody
can,
else has, so they can't.
Have not screwed much up except for
every time they've made the movie.
No, well, I'm not. That's not them though. The Kevin Feige era has only screwed up. Let's see how many times. I'd say once. I don't know.
And this is just my personal feeling. Something like Thunderbolts, like, I don't care if they screw that up or not. I don't have to like it, and if it fails, whatever. Fantastic Four, I've been waiting for somebody to get this right, and if they get it right, this could be a whole launching off point for a whole new direction in the Marvel universe. What do you think
is the screw up?
No, I'm trying to. I think there's like
Eternals, and didn't they announce Eternals?
And
too?
that is I was just going to say that is to me that's
Eternals.
I was wondering if you had something else in mind, because to me,
well, definitely Eternals.
But is the one ball that was dropped. I think everything else. There's other things that didn't meet expectations. But
I think this latest Thor movie, I wouldn't spend 5 minutes watching that movie again. I thought it was not good at all.
We have one bad Iron Man movie and two bad Thor movies.
We have no bad Iron Man movies.
Okay.
And
that's not true. Hey, put it this way: you and I, in person, live, saw the director apologize for that film. We did.
Where was that? Favreau?
Yes, he apologized for that film in that discussion.
Oh, okay. So he's not right either. No, I know. I'm joking. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I think this Thor was worse than. Take the Eternals out. Thor is fully. This movie is fully at the bottom. It totally ruined this character. We don't need to go down this road.
And they didn't officially announce it, but there's a lot of rumors out there that they're going to make an Eternals 2, and I don't see how or
Barry,
why.
The Eternals will return.
Well, I know they said it at the end of the movie.
You know why?
But
they signed up Harry Styles, and he's hotter than ever.
And he's already saying he's not really interested in doing this. So
he's banging
because the movie
Olivia
wasn't
Wilde.
good.
Why else?
If the
Why
movie was
would
good,
he
he'd
be
be all over
interested?
it.
Yeah, because that was a cameo, and that was like, yeah. It's also a useless character. Anyways,
and I don't think we talked about this, and I'm an episode behind on She-Hulk, but there was something on screen in She-Hulk when she was looking at her computer screen, and if you zoomed into what was on the side that you weren't supposed to be paying attention to, there was stuff in there about this giant statue point sticking out of the ocean. Like, they were trying to at least, like... Because there's this huge thing... I mean, I was thinking about, like, wouldn't that potentially even throw off the rotation of the Earth? There's this giant, huge thing now sticking out of it that wasn't there. Like, they're ignoring it, and probably good that they are, but, like, that should have had a huge impact on
But
on
don't
Earth.
you think... I mean, here's the thing. They've said nothing about it. To me, stand up and say, you want to know something? We tried this, didn't work, we're moving on. Otherwise, maybe there actually is an Eternals 2.
so, and just, I'm wondering, like, now that the Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade, is that end of that movie even legal anymore? It's basically a late-term abortion of a giant alien.
There you go.
So,
And why aren't they, like, work crews out there dismantling it or chipping away at it or trying to do something to get rid of it?
Maybe there are.
And if it's sticking that far up out of the ocean, how much bigger? I mean, it goes all the way to the bottom
There
of the
would
ocean.
be tsunamis everywhere.
I'm thinking too much about this, I know, but it's
Tsunami. That's
probably
a
thinking
George
more about it,
Takei.
Barry, than the people who made the film.
probably.
All right. Anything else with this? Because we got to move along.
Armor Wars with Don
Yeah.
Cheadle.
Yep.
That was the only other thing that I put down that they announced.
Rogue Squadron not on any list.
Yeah.
Not on any list.
I guess
Patty.
as a surprise to nobody.
Patty.
Well, and didn't Kathleen Kennedy say there won't be a Star Wars movie in the next few years? Like, she's
No,
not
they came
greenlighting?
out with the date. The next
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars is like
This
something
was
2025.
the plan, and this was going to be. This was the. But it's not happening, and it's never going to happen. Not.
Well,
They
at
said
least the TV
2025
stuff
for
has
the next
been
Star
good.
Wars movie.
At least the TV stuff's been good.
Yes.
I honestly think Rogue Squadron would be a better TV thing than it would be a movie, anyways.
Yeah.
And if they went that way, the way they went with Obi-Wan, and they said we're going to do 6-episode series, and it's going to be, Rogue Squadron immediately after, or even in this, even in the Mandalorian era, that could be really interesting.
I would like them to just stop announcing titles, projects, and directors until something has actually made it past the pre-production stage.
Do you really think they're like, Patty, we love you. Patty, Wonder Woman 84. Like, what are you thinking? You're out. Does that happen in a bigger sense?
Oh, I think there's more to it than that.
I'm sure, but like you had a great movie and you couldn't follow it up with even a decent one?
No. So this is the thing, and this is what terrifies me about her directing right now, is in several interviews, she said she had not previously acknowledged, but Warner had a tremendous amount of creative control over the first movie. The second movie was the movie she really wanted to make. That was the movie she made, without having restrictions placed on her. And you pulled one up against the other, and it's like maybe she needed some control. So,
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just Googling and I'm not seeing it, but there's a woman who's kind of considered to be Kathleen Kennedy's number 2 when it comes to Lucasfilm, and from the rumors were that woman and what's her name, Patty Jenkins were not getting along. I couldn't make it work. But that's pure speculation.
I blame all of them.
Rumors.
Yep.
Rumors and innuendo.
What are you gonna do? Okie dokie. So we'll follow up on all this stuff. So Werewolf by Night comes out soon.
Andor comes out even sooner.
Andor comes out within 24 hours.
There you go. Well, that's been talked about. I mean,
So
Andor is in direct conflict.
Just think
with
about this. Barry is getting something. Disney is giving Barry a gift this week. Disney is giving me a gift this week. Daredevil will be in this week's episode of She-Hulk.
You just ruined it. What am I getting? I thought
I was just waiting. That's what I was going to say. Is Dave, you can have your choice.
I thought Barry was getting Willow. That was what you're saying. Barry, is that the gift you want? Is that really the gift you want?
No, Dave and Todd and I were talking over each other. I was saying the Andor premiere, which is 3 episodes, and we don't know. They could be hour-long episodes, half-hour-long episodes. We don't know how much we're getting.
12 minutes.
It's in direct conflict with the season premiere, 2-hour season premiere of Survivor. So I've got a long night ahead of me on Wednesday.
You have to watch Andor on Wednesday? That's a lot of.
It depends on if it's an hour and a half total. I'll bang it out.
That's a lot of
watching. If it's 3 hours, I'm probably not going to be able to do it.
I've been going through the past 2 nights several Cobra Kai's. Is anyone? If you want,
I haven't started it yet. No,
it's not great, but.
So do you know the next?
Well, it's never been great, but it's been fun.
No, it's not great for it.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask
property
you.
that these people are addressing. Have you read about this?
Which people?
The people making Cobra Kai.
I heard there's talk about a Karate Kid reboot movie.
There is that, but these same people are moving on. Their next project is a Ferris Bueller revisit. You haven't read this?
With original cast?
They have not said.
We just talked about that, and
I know we did. And
they stole it from us.
I feel like there's a lawsuit. No, seriously, they've got a Ferris Bueller project in development that they're now talking about, and that they haven't committed that they've got original people, but they said that it is going to tie into that story.
They need to do it better than they're doing. I mean, this is fun. It's just not good. I mean,
I think
you
I'm
know what I'm
happy
saying.
with
I mean,
having
it's
watched
fun.
the first
It's huh?
I think I'm happy with having stopped after the first season.
It's fine.
It was okay up until last season, but if you're saying
you know what you're getting going into it, and there's no acting awards being handed out at all, or stunt awards, or writing awards. There's
the whole
nostalgia
awards. Going to be at
awards.
Rhode Island Comic Con, so
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Why don't we go Workbench? Not Workbench. I'm reading Workbench. Why don't we go?
This show will never end.
Let's go back to Workbench. No, let's go. What's in the box?
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Todd, what's in the box? Ah,
nice.
So I have here the Obi-Wan lightsaber that Dave kindly ordered for me on a day when I had a day-long meeting. And in the 15-minute order window that existed before they were sold out.
I was lucky to get
that
in.
is the Obi-Wan series,
Yes.
not the
Yep.
New Hope, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's awesome. As I said to you guys, there's a lot more. You know, it's got kind of like burnishing on it. It's got a lot of scuffing.
Yeah.
It's.
Oh wait, hold it up. How much comes off that whole hold it up more?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
whole
pull
barrel
back.
comes off.
Yeah,
the
this whole
grenade
thing comes off.
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
the whole
So
thing
there's a
comes off.
completely
It's
separate
different
one.
in the Luke one.
Yeah, and comes with a little belt clip, so I can wear it at work. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And then
As one does.
as one does, and then a stand, which is kind of cool.
It's funny that they're changing up the stands, but
Yeah.
That's a better design than the one that they've been selling
Yeah.
up to this point.
It does work, and it's very cool, and it came with a blade, which, like I said,
yeah.
at the time I just was like, I want it, and then afterwards read the stuff that came with it.
And you had just bought a blade too.
I now have 4 blades, but
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, but I also have 4 lightsabers, so it works out perfect. So
There you go.
But yeah, no,
That's
really,
awesome.
really pleased with it. It's very cool. Honestly, I think I have all my lightsabers.
Well, you've been wanting that one for a long time.
Yeah,
This is
you need an
honestly at one
Obi-Wan.
point I thought I was going to get the Luke Ray lightsaber and then this one, and that's all I needed. And then I think I decided when Luke showed up in Mandalorian, I needed his Jedi lightsaber, and then the Ahsoka ones were kind of an impulse buy, and which I'm actually very, very happy with. They're very, very cool. And then the dark saber, which I still have not opened, Gary, because I'm not going to open it until you get to open yours.
We got bullied into that.
We totally get bullied into that.
Mark's like, Mom's not going to let you. I'm like, here's my credit card. I'm buying it.
And you know what? I have the feeling within a few months we're going to be very happy that we bought those. So
Yeah, I'm sure.
when they shatter it in the first episode, like they blew up the Razor Crest, it's like you're just like, what? Yeah.
So, Barry, have you seen? I've seen on Facebook they are selling those the Obi-Wan 3 series in the stores.
Okay.
I
know they only made 3,000 of them, and they sold some of them at D23. I think you had to get into a lottery at D23 to be allowed to buy it. It's a cool set. I mean, it's for me the challenge for me is I've got almost all of those sabers as master replica sabers, so I don't really need them.
It's Phantom Menace
Padawan.
Obi-Wan saber, right?
Yep.
Then it's series Obi-Wan saber,
And it's a New Hope.
and it's I've got them all too. But
Yeah, and I saw a comparison. There was a comparison video that a collector did of the master replicas to the Disney one, and there are definitely differences. I don't know which one's more accurate, to be quite honest, but
I wonder how much that set is. In theory, it should be what? $500?
It's $550.
There was a guy walking out with a picture. I bought 2 of them. Like, what happened
How
to
much
one per
difference is
customer?
there between the series one and the film one?
The series one is closer to. I don't have the series one. I have Revenge of the Sith one. The series one is closer to Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
It says somewhere. Yeah.
But I mean, you're paying an extra $100 for a wooden box that has music. It plays music when you open the lid.
I would probably, if I was at Galaxy's Edge and they had it, and I would probably buy it.
Yeah, I would too.
I would take
How
it
the
out
hell
and
you
bury
getting it
I would
home? I have
bury it
no
in sand
idea.
in my backyard.
Well, when we're down there, I doubt they'll still be there in January when we're down there, Dave. But
Yeah,
if they are,
you never know. We're
we're
buying
going to
them.
be going to the post office to mail them home to ourselves.
Exactly. All right, Barry, what's in the box?
Okay, I have a new action figure that, Dave, you can go get a drink. Todd, you will care about. I got the Bilbo Baggins Azimuth's Toys from Lord of the Rings. It's cool. The box actually looks like a book.
That is cool.
And it opens. It's got a magnetic hinge. It opens up. It looks like it's pages. Super nice packaging. It's got a foam tray where the figure would be, and then under this is another tray with all the accessories. Now, you got the Frodo that I got, right, Todd? You bought the same one that I have?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't? I know you talked about it.
I know. I came really close.
This thing is amazing.
Oh, look at that.
I mean,
that's awesome.
So good. He comes with 2 separate coats. This is like the party coat. He's also
Party
got...
coat?
Did you pre-order him?
No, I just decided I wanted him and bought him once I saw videos of
And
the...
you just got him?
Yeah.
I might need that.
I'll tell you where I got it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they don't have them at Fanboy, but you have to go somewhere else.
Troy and I talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay. We decided not to have him.
In any case, he's got the separate coat that he wore on his adventure.
Yep.
And then with that one, he's got the full backpack that you can put on him. He's got the walking stick. He's got a pot that hangs on the back of it. He comes with a ton of accessories. He also comes with a second head sculpt that is equally awesome, but not one I would probably display. But he's got a hand with the ring on it when you can use that head.
As you do as you play Hobbits in the basement.
Dave, enough. But with all the accessories he comes with,
Ash.
I actually just love the pipe in the book.
Oh, it's
He
great.
just looks great. They got like fur on the feet, like hobbits should have. It's an awesome figure. And the head sculpt is really good, and the paint detail on it is amazing. So I was super, super happy with this when I got it.
And that's the same company that made Fredo?
Yes. Never go against the family, Fredo.
Fredo is the guy that got
those
whacked
movies
in
have
the
been
boat.
on all weekend long.
Yeah, no, you know what? And
I'd like a Fredo figure.
I think Bilbo, this age, Bilbo and Frodo are the perfect. That's all I need from the Lord of the Rings.
I need one representative figure, and I think that might be it right there.
Yeah,
Because
I
that's kind
recommend
of
it
like
highly.
the capstone for the whole thing. You know,
I almost wish that I had a second one because the other coat with all the accessories would be a really cool way to display it too. But I just kind of like the way he looks with the pipe in the book.
I hear like the music in my head when you hold that up. It's just
it's perfect. It's a great figure. Can't say enough about it. All right, Dave, what's in the box?
Okay, I just
Show me your Hobbit, Dave.
I have to stop recording and I'll show you my
I
house.
hope that's not. I hope that's
The
not
dirtiest
a
thing I've ever
euphemism.
said to you.
It's just amazing that people like that stuff, like that movies. Pam loves them.
Yeah,
Dave,
a lot
Dave,
of
you do
people
realize
do.
that
Get it.
it's a lot more of you not liking it than people liking it. Because I think you're way outnumbered.
I'm just shocked. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But I have something. Being the middle of the road, easygoing guy, I have something that everybody loves. This is a Star Trek: The Motion Picture water pistol.
Oh, you got one.
Look at that.
I had seen these around, but remember that guy I told you who had all the bottles?
Yeah.
And he had all this stuff. That's where I got the idea of the bottle. So this guy had like 10 of these. And I had sent him a list I'm interested in this, and this. He's like, I guess he went to people with more volumes. He says, I got some of those left if you want one. So I bought one. But I just love this phaser design. I just thought it's cool that it's like a stupid water gun.
I saw one of those on Facebook Marketplace maybe like a couple months ago, and I remember saying to you, hey, this looks cool. I almost bought it.
I think it was $25. I mean, they're not. You could buy them on eBay. I think this was a little cheaper. But you can get it on eBay for $30. This is like unpunched. This guy really kept his stuff in nice condition from all the pictures. It says, this water gun is an authentic replica of the amazing phaser used by Kirk and Spock. Like, no, it's not.
A phaser. I thought that was a price checker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that gun. But I thought it was cool.
It does look kind of like when you go to Stop and Shop and you do your self-checkout, it looks just like the gun
That
they
is
give you.
exactly what it looked
It
like
totally is.
a decade
And
ago.
it's got all the little... I mean, what was this in the stores? Probably like $2.99 maybe?
$2.99 would be my guess, yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was cool. I'd like to actually take it out of the package, but I just thought it was something cool. So, that's what's in the box. Okie dokie. So, next time, I'm sure we'll be talking about Andor. I got to talk to you guys about next week, though. That's it. Any last thoughts? The Queen died. May she rest in peace.
I was just going to say, is that, long live the king. It's the passing of an era. I watched some of it today.
It's more like 2 eras.
No, but I was just going to say is like this is nothing like this is going to happen again in our lifetimes, and it's just extraordinary. Like I said, just how much history this woman, lived through.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. I'm not one of those.
One of my favorite
Royals
stories
people,
that I've heard in the last few days, and I'd heard this before. On VE Day, she did the Camelot thing. She dressed in like normal person's clothes and went out in the streets and celebrated with all the other people celebrating who did not recognize her because she just wanted to be there in that moment and be part of that. And that's which is just like I said, it's amazing. And think what you want of the monarchy. I personally don't think it's going to last a whole lot longer.
It's been around 1,000 years, I don't.
But again, But I think she by force of will has kept it going, and
70 you're reigning for 70 years, 14
just
presidents,
incredible. Totally,
I just can't even believe they were playing God Save the King, and I'm like, it's been God Save the Queen for so long. Like I can't even imagine that being changed. But
yep.
Howard Stern was talking about it, and we were playing a game about, what came first, the Queen or color TV, or not color television, or the Queen or
the
cars.
Queen was older than television.
The Queen was
right?
older than a lot of things.
But
it's crazy.
It's crazy how long she.
And there were people waiting 19 hours just to pay their respect.
Just think about this, okay? World War II seems so distant in history at this point. Okay, when she was coronated, Winston Churchill was prime minister still. I mean, it's just extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually caught some of the actual funeral was today. I mean, you see all the different the bearskin hat guys, what are the grenadiers or whoever they are.
Yep.
Six of those guys without their hats on had to take the casket out of the car, bring it and carry it up the steps, and I'm like, that is the most nerve-wracking. You're literally and the crown, the orb, and the scepter that has a 500-carat diamond in it.
Don't think those things were not attached. I was looking at that too.
Worried. I'm
There's
like,
no
Jesus
way
Christ.
those things were not. Like,
but these guys they literally had to carry
that.
These rickety wooden, not wooden, steps they made out of slate or whatever into the church. Oh, I'm like, boy, that is tough duty with like a billion eyes on you.
Just think about the fact that I don't think there's ever been this concentration of world leaders in one place at one time. Just absolutely amazing. And again, like I said, you can think what you want of the monarchy and whether its time has passed and whatever, but she oversaw a lot of history, and she kept her country together through some really, really tough times. So. Yeah.
I've been to Buckingham Palace. When we went to London, did all
the
that
office.
Stuff. You can't get into Buckingham Palace. It's like once a year, maybe. But we saw a lot of that cool stuff. I mean, and we saw the crown jewels. Like I was wondering, so she's got her. Is that the crown? It looks like that. Top of a Crown Royal bottle.
Yep.
I guess they got to make a new one for King Charles.
Yep.
Who's the official crown maker to England? He's like, it's been 70 years. I've been dying to make another one.
What's the name of the guy that makes the fedoras? They'll go
it's
to
like
him.
The phone is ringing, and he's like, what's that? It's like, it's
what?
the phone.
You got to make another crown now, finally.
Yep.
Anyway, not to belittle, but, hey, she definitely, you're right. She oversaw a lot, kept her shit together, whatever you think, aside from politics, whatever.
Yep.
It's an impressive run, no matter how you look at it.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, may she rest in peace. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.